I've learned the secret of being content in any and every circumstance, whether full or hungry, whether having plenty or being poor. And then we come to maybe the most quoted verse, verse 13. I can endure all things through Christ who strengthens me. Or as I saw in a coffee mug recently, I can endure all things through a verse taken out of context. And I like that one. We gotta unpack 4:13 a little bit here, because I do think it's taken out of context a little bit too much in our culture. This is not a triumphal victory verse. This is not a gym bro bench pressing 400 pounds because he has 4:13 tattooed on his shoulder. Sorry, guys, if you have that. But this is a verse that actually is embedded right in the context of this passage. So here's the problem. This is the verse itself. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. The problem is that in the Greek text that Paul's writing, the verb do isn't there. The word all things isn't there, and the word through isn't there. So, just like the whole center part of this verse, we need to change. I think a better translation would be something more like, I have strength for all of this in the one who empowers me. I have strength for everything in the one who gives me power. So let's unpack that a little bit more. I have strength for everything, not I can do everything. I was talking with Melanie earlier this week, and she was joking. She says, it's kind of like the old Mario Nintendo games. If anyone has played that, or you got grandkids that play that, we have Mario, whenever he finds a magic mushroom and he taps it, it's like bloop, 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 and he grows 2 to 3 times in size, and he's so strong he can smash through brick walls and he can pounce on all the enemies. Sometimes we might treat Christ like that. Like, oh, I have Christ, he's like my magic mushroom, he's my supplement, he's my protein shake, and as long as I kind of add a little Christ into my life, I can do all things. I can do whatever I set my mind to, right? That's kind of how that verse is sometimes used, but that's not what it says. This is not a verse about achievement. It's a verse about endurance. In the context of chapter 4, it's, I have strength for all of this. For what? I have strength to actually pursue this life of gentleness. That's a hard way to turn. Sometimes it's a lot easier to just exact heavy retribution. I have strength to not be anxious. I can't do that on my own. There are many days where it's just full dependence on Christ is the only thing getting me through this day. I have strength to not be anxious in the one who gives me strength, in Christ alone. I have this peace that God himself can give me. I have strength to not be distracted by all of the noise in our world, but to focus on the things that actually matter. And then the verse right before verse 13 is, I've learned the secret of being content in any circumstance, whether poor or rich, whether hungry or full. I've learned that secret of being content. I have strength for all this in the one who gives me strength. It's a verse more about endurance. And I wanted to think about that word in. So it's instead of through Christ, like he's a supplement or a protein shake, it's in Christ, which is a rich biblical theme. We've already talked about that in the book of Philippians. Paul uses this idea of in Christ to say, well, it's my own identity is so wrapped up in the actual relationship with Jesus. It's not me using Christ. It's me clinging to Jesus and that relationship that I have with him that sustains me through whatever life throws my way. In Christ, in this chapter alone, in verse 7, he talks about the peace of God that will fill your hearts and minds in Christ. Then in verse 13, it's in Christ that we receive the power to have strength for all of this. Up in verse 19, my God will meet your every need out of the riches and glory that is found in Christ Jesus. And then finally in verse 21, greet all of God's people that are in Christ Jesus. So being in Christ is me, my faith, clinging to Jesus, dependent on him in that relationship that he has invited me into. So it's being wrapped up in his life that I find strength for all things. But then in Christ also always has this very corporate communal aspect to it. In Christ means that I can't do this by myself. And I've found this so many times in my own life. It's in the community of faith like this. It's you all leaning on me and me leaning on you, giving me strength when I'm weak, providing in ways that I can't provide for myself. It's the community of faith as we come together and link arms that we find strength for everything that we need. And I think that's all wrapped up. It becomes this very deep and rich verse. I have strength for everything life throws my way in the one who empowers me. Let's pursue that in Christ this week to find the endurance, the strength that we need